Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbana zidna ilma. Allahumma faqihna fid din. Amin ya rabbal alameen. Today we are here with our session number 40 and we are going to start with our review inshallah. So let's start. Bismillah. So the first question in our review is Dhamma and rest of signs of status of Mudare always visible to denote the status of Mudare? What do you think? Do we always have these signs present? I'm not able to see your answers. Can you hear me? Okay, so is Dhamma of Mudare? We have Mudare ending with Dhamma in case of Yansuru, Tansuru, Ansuru, Nansuru, right? Is it always visible when our Mudare is Marfu? In all Mudare, we can see our Dhamma present when our Mudare is Marfu? Or there are certain Mudares where Dhamma is implied, is just understood to be there, but is not visible. We just imagine it to be there. What do you think? Okay, I don't think you guys remember. So let me just take you to this slide from the last session. So remember, in case of Yansuru, we do see that our Fail Mudare is ending with Dhamma. It is Marfu in status, right? It's a default status, right, for our Fail Mudare. But sometimes you will see that, Dhamma is not going to be visible. And this happens when your last letter is Alif, Ya, or Waw. In that case, Dhamma is Al-Muqaddara, which means it is implied. It is Dhamma is implied in those cases. Okay? Is it clear? Alhamdulillah. So not always you are going to see this Dhamma. Yes, if it is a letter that is Sahih, other than Mu'attal letters, which includes Alif, Waw, and Ya, rest of the letters you may not see, you will see in every Sahih letter, but in case of Alif, Waw, and Ya, your Dhamma is implied. It is Muqaddara. Okay? Keep that in mind. Okay. So now the next question is, what are the three signs of Mudare Majzoom? What are the three ways Mudare can be made Majzoom? Who remembers? Drop noon, yes, that is one of the ways. Drop noon. And this happens in case of which af'al? Khamsa. Very well done. In case of af'alul khamsa, you will drop your noon. What is another way of making Mudare Majzoom? How Mudare looks Majzoom? If it is ending like Yansuru, what can you do to Yansuru? How will you change? You will change it to Sukoon, right? If you can change it to Sukoon, that is your way of making your Mudare Majzoom, right? So that is a second way if your mudare is ending with dhamma, you change it to sukoon. That is number one way of making mudare majzoom. And this happens when the last letter is sahih, not a weak letter, which includes alif, waw, and ya. The second way to make mudare majzoom is drop noon. This happens only in case of af'alul khamsa. The third way is, who remembers the third way? Guys, we have forgotten everything. Third way of making mudare majzoom is if your mudare is ending with a weak letter. What happens to that weak letter? Alif, waw, ya. If it is ending with alif, waw, ya, what happens? You drop it. Okay? You drop it. Okay? If your mudare is ending with weak letter, you just drop it. You just drop it. Like you see in yad'u, it becomes yad'u. You now do not read it with mad, right? Tarda, you drop alif. You now read it one count. Tarda. When it is yahdi, you drop your ya, and now you don't read it with ya mad. You just read it as one count, yahdi. Okay? Do not forget these important points, okay? Inshallah. Is this clear or still not clear? I see only responses from Sister Anas. Where are the rest of sisters and where are the answers? Sister Rubin, are you able to understand? Alhamdulillah. Okay. So let me go back to the next question then. So I hope everyone is now well versed with, if your letter is sahih, if the last letter is sahih, then and it is ending with dhamma, you change it to sukoon. If your last letter is noon, which happens in case of af'alul khamsa, if the noon is of af'alul khamsa, just in case of af'alul khamsa, we can drop noon. It is not that with every fail ending with noon, you are going to drop that noon. Where can you not drop the noon? Noon never gets dropped. In which cases? Which two cases your noon will never get dropped? Who remembers? Very well done. If your noon is pronoun, noonu nisfa never gets dropped. The reason it never gets dropped is because it's a pronoun, and every fail has an inbuilt pronoun, and you can never get rid of inbuilt pronoun. So noonu niswa is an inbuilt pronoun, so you can never remove it from the fail, right? I hope everyone is clear with that concept as well, because we went over it in our last session. Okay, so now the next question is, what are haruf nasiba? Who remembers? Lil mudari, and I'm talking about haruf nasiba lil mudari, not the other haruf nasiba that are called mushabba bil fail. An, good. Lan, good. Likai, yes. An, lan likai. Hatta, very good. Izan, and fa, right? An, lan, likai, izan, hatta, fa. Very well done. Okay. Very well done. And likai, you remember, it can be seen separately. You can only see li, and you can only have kai as well, and it can come up as a joint word as well. You can see it as likai, as li and kai as well. So who remembers haruf jazma that make mudare majzoom? In, lam, lama, li. Okay. Yes. So in, lam, lama, li. What else did we do? La, very well done. That was one I was missing. So very well done. So we learned that not only our harufe jazma include lamma, li, in, lam, lamma, li, but also la nahya, right? La nahya. Do not forget about this one, okay? Because after this la, what happens to your mudare? You always see your mudare in which form? In marfu form or majzoom form or mansoob form? In majzoom form. Very well done, okay? You see your mudare majzoom after this la, okay? This la, after this la, your mudare is always majzoom. So now today, let me start. I will explain to you how we are not going to include wal, fal in this list, and we'll keep our list to whatever I'm showing you on screen, okay, inshallah. Then what are the three statuses of fail mudari? Who remembers? I'm glad I put this question because I'm seeing, you guys have forgotten quite a bit. Three statuses. One is raf or marfu, majzoom, and mansub. Very well done. So mudare, fail mudare can be marfu, it can be mansub, it can be majzoom. Very well done. Does mudare that ends with nunun niswa undergo any change in form when marfu, mansub, or majzoom? Those mudare that end with nunun niswa, can they undergo any change? Do they change at all? No, very well done. They are mabni because this noon is nunun niswa. It can never get dropped. So they look the same in their mansub, marfu, and majzoom form. It's a context, whatever is present before them, that helps us determine the state of mudari. Is this clear? Type 1 if it is. Okay. So after la nahya, in which state we see mudari? What is the state of mudari after la nahya? What do you think? Is it marfu, mansub, or majzoom? It is majzoom, right? It is majzoom. So what do we need to do is, for those of you who are following Dream textbook, you need to update your list to this, okay? How this has been written here. If you can just, add whatever is missing, okay? And for harufe jazima, similarly, you are going to update your list like this, okay? Is this clear, my dear sisters? You are going to put these words like this. You will include la nahya there as well. Okay? You just, I think you just have to add this so that you are not confused between the li of likai. We will, for the most part, call lami jazima. We will call it, just so that there is no confusion, we will call it lamul amr. Is this clear? We will call this li as lamul amr so that there is no confusion, because both look the same. Both have li. They are spelled the same way. But this one makes mudare majzoom and is translated as should. The other one makes mudare mansub and is translated as so that. Can you see it here? No response. Wake up. Inshallah. Okay. So this one is we can just call Lame Nasiba. Okay. And the other one we will call it Lamul Amr, so that there is no confusion between both of them. Okay. So the very important fact that I would like you to know, since we just see, sometimes there is a where is this wal fal coming from? Okay, let me tell you how we are going to reconcile that. So this lamul jazima that we are going to call as lamul amr as well, if it is preceded by, if there is harf atf before it, do you know what happens? This lam ends up taking sukoon. If there are 3 haruf atf before lamul jazima, this lam ends up taking sukoon instead of kasra. And this is done for takhfif, for ease of pronunciation. So if this lamul amr has waw, fa, summa before it, what will happen to this lam? It will take, instead of kasra, it will take sukoon. Okay. So you can see here, summal yaqdu. So what are you going to call this lam? Here, because what are you seeing here? What kind of mudari is this? What is the status of mudari? This is lamul amr. And what kind of mudari are we seeing after it? Is this mudari mansub, marfu, or majzoom? It is majzoom, right? Because it is being preceded by lamul amr. Because it is preceded by lamul amr, every time lamul amr is preceded by any harf atf, or if harf atf precedes lamul amr, what happens to lam? It takes sukoon. It takes sukoon. Keep that in mind. Instead of kasra, it takes sukoon. So the reason for this mudare, what is making this mudare majzoom, is this lam. Can you see here? Yufu. Everyone can see that, right? What is this word missing? Which letter is missing here? Yufu. Noon. Very well done. So this mudare is either mansub or majzoom, right? Now we have to figure out if it is mansub or majzoom. So what are we seeing here? Lam with sukoon, right? And lam with sukoon is being preceded by a letter waw. And I just said, if harf atf is before lamul amr, what happens to it? It changes its kasra to sukoon. So we know that this mudare for sure is majzoom in status because lamul amr is present before it. Is this clear? What happened here? What are you going to call this lam? Well, yattawaw. Because waw is present, again, this is again lamul amr, right? Here again, noon is missing from the word, right? Noon is missing. What is the name for this type of mudare? The mudare that was originally ending with noon and is dropping its noon in mansub and mansub form. Which group of mudare do these belong to? Yaqdu, yufu, yattawafu. They are mudare. They are from which af'al? There are 5 af'al that end with noon, and they get their noons dropped in mansub and majzoom forms. So these three mudari that you are seeing right on your screen are from af'alul khamsa. Do not forget that, okay? So lamul amr was there, which made these three drop their noons. And how do we know this is lamul jazima? Because it is getting a sukoon after harf atf waw and summa. And with fa as well, they are going to end up with, the lamul amr is going to end up with sukoon. I hope this is clear. Okay. So I was thinking that you must have gone over whatever you were supposed to go over and whatever we did in our last session, but it seems like, not everyone is responding. So, okay, so lamul jazima, I will repeat it. Do you think we need to go back to what we did in our previous sessions, or you need more revision? Let me hear from you first, and then I will answer your question. Type 1 if you think you need some revision of the concepts that we did in our last session. You only have a few minutes left, so be quick, and you have a tall order to practice. You're fine on us because you were there. So when you attend class live, you're good then. You want revisions, Sister Samina? Okay, so let me just, I will briefly go over whatever we did in the past sessions, and then inshallah, we will proceed with whatever we are doing right now, okay? And whatever practice I wanted to go over with you as well. I kept my slides on just so that, in case we need more revision, because, people tend to forget once we have a break, and then things, I don't know where people get the information lost, but inshallah, let me just go over something. So these green highlighted letters, are they pronouns or signs of mudari? First question. All these highlighted greens. Anita, signs of mudari or they are pronouns? They are not your pronouns, right? Everyone agrees? Everyone knows? These are only the signs of mudari. They are only the signs of mudari. What are the pronouns in fi'l mudari? What are the pronouns in fi'l mudari? You can see the slide. You can copy, cheat from the slide and answer. The pronouns. We have been doing this, sisters. Aliful isnain, wawil jama'a, nunun niswa, yaul mukhataba, right? These are right there. Aliful isnain, wawil jama'a, nunun niswa, yaul mukhataba. Everyone can see that? And that was in your last slides, in the last session as well, right? So identify the visible pronouns, the ad-damir, al-bariz, all those damir that were visible, right? Noon too, yes. And noon, noonun niswa, just these two noons, right? Aliful isnain, wawil jama'a, noonun niswa, and yaul mukhataba. 4. Don't forget them. Anyone asked you, where is the pronoun? Where is the inbuilt pronoun? Can you see it? Yes, you can see it in all these cases. In af'alul khamsa, it's there, it's visible, right? Af'alul khamsa include which af'al? The pronoun in af'alul khamsa must be, what should be there in af'alul khamsa? Who remembers? What are the letters I taught you should be there in af'alul khamsa? Waw should be there, yes. Waw as a doer pronoun should be there, yes. Ya al-mukhataba should be there, very good. Aliful isnain should be there, right? And that's it, right? 3 pronouns are part of af'alul khamsa. that you can see Wabil Jama'a, Alful Isnain, Yaul Mukhataba, right? Yansuruna, Tansuruna, Yansurani, Tansurani, Tansurina. Okay, so these are Af'alul Khamsa. To be in the category of Af'alul Khamsa, your fail must have either Waw or Alif or Ya. Must have one of them. Can have only one of them. Okay, either this, or this. Everyone on board with this? Everyone understood this concept? In their default form, they all end with noon, right? And this noon is called noonul i'rab, because if it is there, it determines that their status is what? What is their status if the noon is present? They are raf in status, nasb in status, or majzoom in status. They are raf in status, since it is the determining factor of their status. So we call this noon noonul i'rab, right? This noon has nothing to do with the pronoun or anything. However, in case of yansurna, this is a doer pronoun, right? Okay, so alif, waw, and ya, those pronouns are there in af'alul khamsa, and our mudari also has another visible pronoun, that is nunun niswa. Please remember this. I don't think I can make it any easier than this. And if you do not go back, now you're adults. I cannot force anyone to learn anything unless, this Quran is from within you. Passion of learning Quran and Arabic, and it can be only from one's own desire. If you have to motivate yourself, I don't think there is anyone who can motivate you to, go back and do revision and come prepared for your lessons and everything. If there is any question, there is any confusion, you have to put it in the group. If there, you did not understand, but if you have not gone over whatever has been taught, I don't think you're going to be able to help yourself, or I will be of any help, because if somebody has not gone back to the previous classes, I don't think there is any way I can help. So, and they are not even present in the class, and both I don't know, there is no magic wand that I can use to make people help retain and learn. So it has to be both ways. It has to be both ways. Okay, so i'rab, when it comes to status, i'rab is a term that is used in Arabic for status. Okay, so fi'l mudari does have 3 statuses. So sign of raf can be presence of dhamma and subutun noon. Okay, and sometimes it can be just implied, and you will see it in my slide as well. So sign of nasb is going to be that your mudari is going to end with fatha, and what will happen to af'alul khamsa, that they will drop their noon. Is it clear? In case of majzoom, we just did that, either the word will end with sukoon, or there is hasf noon in case of af'alul khamsa, or there's going to be hasf of haruful illa. And who remembers haruful illa? What are the weak letters in Arabic? Weak letters in Arabic: alif, ya, waw. Okay, these are simple things. You have to just memorize them, but these are very important things. If one is not able to distinguish alif from hamza, they have a problem, and they will run into problems, because it's important in Arabic. When you are learning something in depth and in detail, then you need to know how to differentiate one from another. Okay, so again, fi'l mudari marfu, how it is going to end? It's going to end with dhamma when your last letter is sahih. Okay, when your last letter is sahih, and this dhamma is going to be visible when it is sahih letter, or it is going to be implied. Which will happen? In which case, if your last letter is like alif maksura or waw and ya, in that case, we will say that the dhamma is implied. It is muqaddara. Is it clear or no? For example, if you see tarda in Quran and there is no haruf nasba wa jazma before it, and this is just standing there, then you will assume that this is rafin status and this alif has an implied dhamma on top. Okay, you will imagine it to be there. You will not be able to see it, but you will imagine it to be there. Is it clear? In case of when your mudari is going to be nasb, as we have done with when it is nasb, it usually ends with fatha, right? In case of words that, like when your inbuilt pronoun is huwa, hiya, anta, ana, nahnu, right? It's going to end with fatha. And now again here, what will happen is, you are going to see this. You will be able to, see this, or you may not be able to see it. Okay, you may not be able to see it. It may be implied in some of the cases. Is this clear? For example, I think I here, if you can see here, lan tarda. What does lan do to a fail? It will make it have a, it makes fail have a dhamma, fatha, kasra, what? Fatha, right? It makes mudare mansub. So mudare has to end with fatha. But can you see any fatha here? Can you see any fatha? Because it is ending with alif. It is ending with alif. We say that fatha is implied, muqaddara. It's not explicit. It's not visible. Okay. However, in case of yansura, when lan was before it, you can see that fatha was zahira. Is this clear or no? No, it's not clear. Alhamdulillah. Okay. So these things are small things, but we need to make sure, because there are people who have done grammar before. They have learned their basic grammar. But what is the point in joining this class if you cannot learn something that you have not known before, right? And I have some students here who are very smart, and I have full trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They may have weakness, but Allah does not have any weakness. Subhanallah, right? Allah is without any flaw. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes everything possible. But we also have to try, right? So it has to be both ways. We have to give our best as well, inshallah. So now, in case of mudare that are from afalul khamsa, simply your noon gets dropped. Clear so far or no? So this part we have done before as well. And you can see, the mudare is going to end with sakoon in case of a letter which is sahih. It's going to drop its noon in case of afalul khamsa. And hunna, antunna remain unchanged, right? They are non-flexible, they are mabni. Type 1 if you are all able to understand this. Okay. So one point that is very important point from today's class, I would want each and every one of you to remember that if your lamul jazima is preceded by, which means if harf atf, waw, summa, and fa are before your lamul jazima, what will happen to that lam? Lam will take, what will happen to lam? If preceded by summa, fa, waw, sakoon, it will take sakoon. So let me see how much you have understood here with, I'm going to show you a verse and we are going to practice on that. Okay. Okay. Shahru Ramadan. Okay. What do you think about this one? Shahida. This one. Is it Madi or Mudari? Madi or Mudari? Madi, right? There is no sign of Mudari. So if you don't know anything, you just can write, I don't see a Hamza, Noon, Yata. It cannot be Mudari. I don't know what it is, but I know for sure it cannot be Mudari because there is no sign of Mudari. If anyone has not understood a word from what they have been taught in the past few weeks, they can just say, I don't see any sign of Mudari. So this is not, if you are asking me to pick between Mudari and Madi, this is not going to be Mudari because there is no sign of Mudari there. Now come see this one. Fal Yasumhu. What do you think about this one? Yasum. Yes, Yasum. Sister Zanina, can you see Ya here? What are the root letters? First of all, tell me what are the root letters. Then he should fast it. It is Mudari. Why? Where is the sign of Mudari? Ya is the sign of Mudari. My dear sisters, Ya is the sign of Mudari. Some people have written already, it is Majzoom. Why is it Majzoom? Some people have already written it is Lamul Amr. Lamul Amr. Why are we sure that this is Lamul Amr or Lamul Jazima, making Mudari Majzoom? Fa was before it, and it made it have a sukoon here. It made it have a sukoon here, right? Fa was there, and it made this lam have sukoon, and lam, there was a lam that made my Mudari Majzoom, and lam itself got sukoon, so there is no other possibility for this lam but to be Lamul Amr or Lame Jazima. I hope this is clear. Now, look at this lam. What is this lam? Tukmilu. What do you think about Tukmilu? Is it Madi, Mudare, what? Tukmilu. So it is Mudare because there is a sign of Mudare here. Ta is a sign of Mudare, Kaf, Mim, Lam are the root letters, right? Ranaz, where is the doer pronoun here? Can you see it? Tukmilu. Can you see doer pronoun here in case of Tukmilu? Wow, very well done, Sister Samina. So proud of you. This wow is the doer pronoun here. Tukmilu. And you all should complete, and you all, so that you all complete. It's not should. Okay. Now think about, so this, there is doer pronoun here, there is ta here, the Mudare has wow. What kind of Mudare it is? You have short series on this as well. Hint, hint. From which af'al does this belong? When your fail has waw, alif, or yaul mukhataba, your fail, your fail is from af'alul khamsa, and this is now hold your thoughts about the status. Hold your horses for the minute. Can this lam be lamul amr? Can this lam be lamul amr? No. Why, Sister Zarina? Yes, I agree, but why? Because if it was lamul amr, it will have sukoon because it is preceded by waw. Okay, it has to have sukoon on top of it when it is preceded by harf atf, waw. Okay, now look at here. Tukabbiru. What do you think? From which af'al? Madi mudari. Madi mudari. Mudari. Because there is a sign of mudari there. Sign of mudari there. Who's the doer? Yes, sukoon should only be in case of lamul amr. When lamul amr is there and waw, fa, summa are there, the lamul amr will get sukoon. Okay, doer is waw, right? So it is because ta is the beginning, so we know you all is going to be the doer, right? Waw is the doer, which is visible. Wa will jama'a, and this is you all. This is for you all because our mudari starts with ta, right? Now this lam. Now, is it lamul amr or lamun nasiba? Nasiba, right? Because this waw was there, but it did not make it have sukoon because lamul amr or lamul jazima will always get sukoon. This did not get sukoon, therefore we are called this lamun nasiba. Is this clear? Wake up. Okay. Let's do some more practice and see before I, take you to anything, but I think we need to do little more practice. So last week in our, not last week, in our last session, is yes, both of them. Yes, when we go back, because your lam did not change its haraka to sukoon. So this lam is lamun nasiba. This one is also nasiba. Otherwise, if it was jazima or lamul amr, it would have taken a sukoon. There should be a sukoon there. Okay. Now, I told you that about la nahya. Where do we see la nahya? In which list? Lamul, is this one of the huruf jazima or nasiba? Where is this la coming from? La nahya. Jazima. You see it in huruf jazima. So, what do you see any la nahya here in these verses? Do you see any? La tanhar, la taqhar, right? La taqhar. It is making, this la is making ra have a sukoon. This is mudari. And this mudari is majzoom by presence of dhamma, right? Lamatu jazmuhu is sukoon here and here, right? What about this la? Is this making any change to the mudari after it? No. So this la is a plain la, which is la nafia. Okay? This la is la nafia. It has no action. It cannot exert any action on mudari next to it because mudari is in its original form. However, this la makes mudari majzoom. Okay? So this one is called nafia. This one, la yash'urun, la nafia. And this one, la tanhar, la taqhar. These two la's are la nahia. Is this clear or no? Type 1 if it is. Okay. Okay, so you have to include this la nahia in your list of harufe jazima. La nahia is one of the harufe jazima that is in your list. You have seen it there. You have learned it. Because we just did the names last week in our last session, right? So in lam, lamma, li, la, these are your harufe jazima, right? So la is here, right? This la, because it is haruf from harufe jazima, what it does to your mudare is it makes it madzum. Okay, so if your la is making mudare madzum, it is going to be called la nahiya. That are the spellings of this la. These are the spellings, okay? And if la has no effect on mudare coming after it, it is going to be called la nafia. This la nafia, you can see it before ism as well, like la raiba, la khawfun, right? La ikraha fid din. This la nafia, you see it before many things, okay? You can see it before an ism as well. This la can be before any form of mudare that can begin with hamza, noon, ya, ta. Like here you see it before ya. But this one, this la nahiya, we mostly see it before the mudare that has second person hidden in it, okay, or visible, okay. This la is used for second person mainly, not always though, okay. It can be seen before before mudare that has a third person pronoun, okay. It can be seen before a mudare that has a third person pronoun. However, mostly it is seen before a mudare that has second person in it, okay. This mudare works. It is amila. Whatever does an action, it is called amil, right? One who does anything, who works, is called amil in Arabic. So amila, because her haruf are treated um, as feminine, so it is amila. Okay, this one is amila. It has an action because it makes mudare madzum. This one, la nafia, has no effect on mudare, so it has no action. It is without any amal. Okay, actionless. This la demands something. It's a demanding la. For example, when I say la takzib, la takzib, it means do not lie. And if I say la takzibu, it means you do not lie. Like, I'm just giving you an information. Okay. For example, can you see? Al mu'minu la takzibu. Believer, he does not or la takzibu, you do not lie. It is just as if I'm there's a difference. Do not eat, exclamation mark, or you do not like to eat chocolate. Do you feel a difference between these two sentences or no, or do they sound same? There's a difference, or they sound same? They are different. One is the command. You are telling someone not to do something. So you're demanding something from them, right? You're demanding. There's a talb there. When there's a talb, that is la nahiya. When there is just an information, she does not like to eat potatoes, or she does not want to drink, or she does not want to study. These are all informational sentences, right? And for those informational sentences, we use la nafiya when there is only an information that we are providing to someone. When we are demanding something from someone, then what we use? We use la nahiya. So it is a demanding la. Okay, it's a very demanding la or commanding la. And this is just an informative la. Okay, is this part clear or no? Okay, so before I tell you anything different, I think I will just try to make sure that you understand what we have just learned. Okay, so do you see any haruf nasiba in this verse from Surah Ali Imran 142? Any haruf nasiba? You do see? Okay, where is that? Can somebody type if they see? An, very well done. This an, right? This an is there. What is it doing to mudari after it? It is making it marfu, mansub, or majzoom. Nasb. How? It cannot make it majzoom, right? Because it is harufe nasiba. It is an. It is not in, right? So it is harufe nasiba. So it is going to make mudari mansub. So tadkhulu is mansub in status. How is it mansub in status? Your word is going to be mansub by the presence of fatha that can be visible or implied, or by hasfun, dropping noon, right? Everyone with me so far? You're coming back. Yeah, here, yes, I've seen some answers now. Alhamdulillah. So an tadkhulu, this an made this mudari mansub, and we know this is tadkhulu because it has waw. It is from which af'al? It is from al-af'alul khamsa. Af'alul khamsa. So now we know the doer with waw, there is going to be three or more. Ta tells me this is second person plural, and waw help me determine that the doer is plural, and ta in the beginning tells me it is a second person plural. Everyone with me so far? Alhamdulillah. Okay. Do you see any other harf here in this verse? Look carefully. So an, lan, likay, izan, hatta, fa. Then we see haruf jazima that include in, lam, lamma, in, lam, lamma, li, la. Right? So we have lamma here. So what is it doing to my mudari? It is making it majzoom. Majzoom, right? Lamma is from haruf jazima. It cannot make it mansub. It is making it majzoom. So originally this name had what? Sukoon. Why is this kasra here? Why is this kasra here? Because of a rule that I taught you. Yes, for joining is good, very well done. To connect, which is called iltaqai sakinain, right? Two sakinas word together. For joining, for tajweed reasons, for iltaqai sakinain, this sukoon got changed into kasra. Keep that in mind, okay? This one I will teach you later. This is this was majzoom, and now this is mansub. This is a tricky concept. We will go over this later, okay, inshallah. So now come to Surah At-Tawbah, verse number 16. Do you see any haruf nasiba wa jazma? An tutriku, right? So who's the doer here? Who's the doer in this one? Doer. Yes, it is an there, and it is making waw is the doer. What's the status of a fail? What's the status here? It is nasbin status, be an, right? Mudare mansub bi hasfun noon li'annahu min al-af'ali al-khamsa. li'annahu min al-af'ali al-khamsa. And then what happened? Do you see anyone else? Lama is there, yes? And Lama is jazima. Very well done. So again, this was originally sukoon and for iltaqai sakinain. And if anyone writes for connecting, joining, as long as they know this concept, you don't need to know these difficult terms. But I am repeating them so that you also have them in the back of your mind, and one day you will all remember this. Do we see any other harf here in this verse? Lam, in, lam, lamma. So lam is from where? Haruf nasiba or haruf jazima? Jazima. Good job. So what did it do to yattakhidhu? It made it maj. It made it majzoom, right? By hasbun noon, right? Noon was removed. It was originally yattakhidhuna, and now noon is removed because of lam. Everyone with me so far? What do you think about jahadu? What do you think about this one? Jahadu, it is Madi. Who is the doer here in Jahadu? Wow is the doer. So wow represents what? Yes, wow is the doer. How will you translate? Jahadu, whom, very well done. Whom, they is the doer. Barakallahu feek, my dear sister. Do not forget, because we have spent some good time here, right? Learning all this, and we don't want to, Quran is something that you have to take care of as you take care of a camel in a desert. Okay, it is from this is a mafhum of a hadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it's just you cannot just, you have to tie it tight. You have to work on retaining it. We cannot just let everything go like that. What is the status of this mudare? Who is going to tell me? Marfu bi subutun. Marfu bi subutun noon, right? Bi subutun noon. Noon was sabut, sabit. So we are going to call it mudare marfu bi subutin noon. Now, in this verse from Surah Al-Baqarah, we have 2 minutes only. Now let's do it quickly. What do you see here? Do you see any harufe jazima or nasiba? You see lam here. What about before lam? Do you see anything about you see before lam? In. We start with in, right? This is also there, right? So it is very commonly being, you will see it being followed by other huruf very commonly in Quran. I wanted you to all see this, that you may not see mudare after it. You may see some other haruf after it. So keep that in mind, okay? This may not have mudare after it. You see lam after it. Can you all appreciate this? That, it is being followed by another harf. So in is there, which is harufe jazima, from harufe jazima. Lam is there from harufe jazima. And what is lam doing to taf'alu? What is happening here? It is making it majzoom. What was the meaning of lam? Who remembers? Is it only not or did not? Did not. Remember, it means did not. It pushes the meaning to past, and that is why it is called harfe qalbin, just like our heart that changes every moment. And it negates. It's called harf nafi, harf nafiyin, wa qalbin, wa jasmin, because it makes mudare majzoom. That's why it's called jasmin. It changes the tense to the past, like you translate now, lam taf'alu, you all did not. You all did not do. And then what was the third one? That it does negation. So nafiyin wa jasmin wa qalbin. Very well done. What about this one? Lan. Have you ever learned it? Lan. Is it from haruf nasiba or jazima? It is from nasiba. It is making this mudare mansub bi hasfun noon, just like lam made it majzoom bi hasfun noon. Here again, lan made it mansub bi hasfun noon. This is majzoom, this is mansub. However, they look the same. But the context helped me determine that this was mansub and this was majzoom. Right? This guy, what is its job? It is also, how do we translate lan? will not, or never, will never. It's always something that pushes the meaning in future. Okay, it negates. So it is harfe nasbin, wa nafiyin, wa istiqbalin. Okay, so it pushes the meaning in future. Keep that in mind. With that, I will have to end the session. Okay.